No, it's not Anita, it's Marie.
Anita asked a question and I'm throwing her the answers.
Yes, sir. Can you move away?
Different data failures were recorded there.
Ooh.
So apparently it was set to record those failures. Are we good?
Question.
That what happened?
Okay, the one that you actually deleted. You deleted computer and wanted. So now what will happen to those files since you couldn't do the recovery?
You will have to go and drop those table spaces because it's not recorded in the corner. The list failure all shows nothing. Which means those files existed there, but either you had deleted the files themselves and the table spaces were empty. Just drop the table spaces, including contents.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Let me, anyway, let's see how far we can go now. And catch up with the morning class before we see what we can do down. Because your database open. All right.
So, quick question.
Yes.
Yeah, quickly. So you say we can use our play database to delete the file and restore, right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
But you must use RMAN command line because you do not have enterprise manager over there.
Okay, thank you.
These are various methods of calling enterprise manager. Perform recovery. We did that and we saw it. Different ways of calling, using enterprise manager to call your data recovery advisor. With RMAN, is list failure all, that's how you call it. In the current release, your database recovery advisor supports single instance database and rack is not supported. The data recovery advisor cannot use blocks or files that are transferred from one standby to another. So if you have blocks for recovery, if it has redo log files, it will be used only for that database, not for a standby database. Further, you cannot use the data recovery advisor to diagnose and repair failures on a different database. No, because archive logs belong to that specific database. However, data recovery advisor does support failover environments. So if you have a failover environment, you can use your data recovery advisor. You just cannot take data from one side and fix the other side. What happens when you lose the control file? If a control file is lost or corrupted, the instance will normally abort. That's agreed, correct? If control files are stored in ASM disk, that's not where we store them. So I'm going to go to the second section which says if control files are stored as regular file system files, which is what we do. Then you shut down the database and then you copy the existing control file to replace the lost control file. You know that by now, right? If you lose the control file, it gets corrupted, you delete it. You shut down the database, then you copy. Most people do what? They copy before they shut down and they're telling me that it's not working. It will never work until you do what I tell you to do. After control file is successfully restored, you can now open your database and it will open all the time. So, the options for recovery from the loss of a control file will depend on what kind of storage you are using. Again, if you are using ASN, this is your fix. That's not what we are using. All right?
Yes, sir.
What are we using? File system, which means this is our own fix. Which says what? If your control files are stored as regular file systems and at least one control file copy remains, then while your database is down, you can just copy one of the remaining control files to the missing control file location and give it that name, the missing control file. If the media failure is due to the loss of a disk controller, then you can copy one of the remaining control files to another location, all right? As long as the instances parameter file points to that new location. Alternatively, you can delete the reference to that missing control file from your parameter file, and you will still work. You just have to make sure that you go adjust your parameter file again to correct that file. Remember that Oracle recommends having at least 2 control files at all times, at least 2. You cannot operate with one control file, because if that file is gone, then we consider it as what? All control files are gone, because that one is all the files that you have. Recovering from the loss of all control files is covered in some other chapter in DB2. We'll talk about that. What about you lost a redo-log file? If a member of a redo-log group is lost, and if the group still has at least one member, note the following results. Normal operation of the instance is not affected. What does that mean? The instance keeps running exactly as it is because the member is gone. You receive a message in the alert log that notifies you about the missing redo-log member that you cannot see. So you can restore the missing log file by dropping the lost redo-log member and then adding a member. So you don't have to drop the group. You hear that, Matu?
Yes, sir.
So you don't have to drop the group. You can just drop the member that is corrupt or is missing, and guess what? You create another one. If the group with the missing redo-log file has been archived, you can clear the redo-log group to recreate the missing file. So what do we mean by clearing? Clearing means it is ready to be overwritten. So, recovering from the loss of a single redo-log group member should not affect the running instance. To perform this recovery, you determine whether there is a missing log file by examining the alert log. Restore the missing file by first dropping the redo-log member. So you're dropping just that member. If you are using ASM, that's the first command, but if you are using regular file system, you do alter database, add log file member, you put in the file name. You have all done that, right? You have added additional members to the group, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, very good. So if the media failure is due to the loss of a drive, or this drive or this controller, you have to rename the missing files. That is, it means that if it is C drive that is bad, and you want your redo-log files to go to D drive, you must put the D drive there, because the name of the file is the entire part of the file. If the redo-log group has already been archived, what does that mean? It means that it has been cleared to be overwritten. Or if you are in no archive log mode, you may choose to solve the problem by clearing the redo-log group to recreate the missing files or files. So you can select the appropriate group and then select the clear log file action. Clearing a redo-log group means that you are clearing it to be overwritten. If you have not cleared it, it cannot be overwritten. It means that the files in there have not yet been archived. You can also clear affected group manually with the following command: alter database clear log file group number 3. So group 3 will be cleared. So what we're saying is you don't want to overwrite an archive you don't want to overwrite a redo log file that has not been cleared. Clearing means it has been copied to the archive location. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
You still have, if you are in archive log mode, it means that that file must be archived. Okay. Database control will not allow you, or enterprise manager will not allow you to clear a redo log group that has not been archived. Because if you do that, it will break your chain of redo. Because you will overwrite redo information that has not been archived. And if you do any recovery, if you have a crash again, you'll be in trouble. So, but if you must clear an unarchived radio log group, you must immediately take a full backup. So at least you have a level 0 backup. Failure to do so may result in the loss of data if another failure occurs, because when you get to that section where you will stop and say, I cannot recover, continue recovering because I'm missing some radio log information, I'm missing some SCN numbers. So to clear an unarchived radio log group, you can force it using command line by doing alter database clear unarchived log group. You will force it and you will clear. All right. What if you lose a data file and you are in no archive log mode? Remember, no archive log mode. No archive log mode means you don't have archive log files, right? It means your radio log files are overwriting each other, or they are overwriting each other without archive logs. Dangerous situation, like you know. If your database is in no archive log mode, and if any data file is lost, this is what you have to do. One, you must shut down the instance if it has not already gone down. All right? You are going to restore your entire database. You do a full database recovery, including all the data and control files, and you will do that from the backup. Restore all the files from the backup. Remember, there's no recovery. Then you are going to open the database, and you will ask your users to re-enter all the data that they have entered since you took that backup. What is our backup window? What's our backup window?
5 a.m. It depends.
We have a backup window in this class. Doesn't depend.
5 a.m. to 2 a.m.
12 midnight to 2 a.m. So what we are saying is that if this database crashes at 4 p.m. in the afternoon, you go and tell people to start entering data since they came in the morning, because you did not put your database on archive log mode and you have lost a data file. Good luck with that. All right? Somebody's going to be in big trouble. So the loss of any data file from your database in no archive log mode will require complete restoration of the database, including the control files and all the data files. With your database in no archive log mode, recovery is possible only up to the time of the last backup, which is when? 2 a.m., correct? So your users must re-enter all the changes that were made since that backup. So if it's at 4, they must do their whole work again. Anybody put money in your bank, like that money is lost. To perform this type of recovery, you're going to shut down the instance if it did not already go down. You go to Enterprise Manager, you can click on Perform Recovery on the database. In this case, remember we're selecting data files. In this case, you're going to select database. If you have a database in no archive log mode that has incremental backup strategy, Alman will first restore the first level 0. So your backup crashes on Thursday. Guess what? You restore Sunday, they restore Monday, they restore Tuesday, then restore Wednesday, and let them enter all the data that they have entered since Thursday morning or Thursday all day. Not a good strategy. I don't wish that to your worst enemy. What if you lose a non-critical data file, right? But you are in archive log mode? No big deal. If a data file is lost or corrupted, and if that file does not belong to the system or the undo, you do not have to worry much because your database will not even go down. We have seen that, right? You're going to do the restore and the recovery while your database is up and running. With the database in archive log mode, the loss of any data file not belonging to the system or the undo table space, it affects only the objects that are missing in the file, only those data files. The rest of the database will remain available for users to continue to do their work. To restore and recover the missing data file, we went to perform recovery. We've already been to these things in Enterprise Manager. We selected the data files at the recovery type, and then we select restore to current time. It gave us the option of the data files that we wanted to select. We selected the data, all the data files, determine whether you wanted to install that file in the same location or you wanted to move them to a different location. Submitted the RMAN job to restore and recover the missing files. Because your database is in archive log mode, recovery is possible up to the time of the last commit. It means zero data loss. And the users are not required to re-enter any data because all the data is in there. That is how important it is to be in archive log mode. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
All right. What if you lose loss of a system critical data file? What does that mean? I mean, which files should be system critical?
Undo.
Undo and system.
Undo and system data files. Thank you. So if it's all corrupted, and if that file belongs to the system or undo table space, perform the following tasks. The instance may or may not shut down automatically. If it does, you're going to use the shutdown abort to force the instance down. Then you're going to bring up the database in the mount mode. You're going to restore and recover the missing data file, and you're going to open the database. Data files belonging to the system table space or containing undo data are considered system critical. The loss of one of these files requires the database to be restored from the mount state. Unlike other data files that may be restored with your database open. To perform this recovery, if the instance is not already shut down, shut it down. Mount the database. Then when I click on the perform recovery on your maintenance page, properties page. You selected the data file that you wanted to recover and then select restore to current time. You added all the data files that needed recovery. Determine whether you want to restore the file in the same location, which is the default location, or you want to move it to a separate location. Submit the RMAN job. Open the database. Users are not required to re-enter any data, which means they are going to perform what? A full recovery up to the last commit of that data file, and you're good to go. All right, so what do we consider data failures? You saw in certain cases, what did we do? We simply renamed the file. Right? In some cases, we deleted the file. In some cases, the file may have different things. Offline table space. You will see that the files are not there. All right? Incorrect access permissions, missing data files at the operating system level. All right? Physical corruptions. We have something in block checksums. Check the blocks and the sums. So if that fails, it does not record. That's why sometimes this thing is not good. It doesn't really like people who are careless. When you go do something, you fix your database all the time. You want a perfect database to be running. Invalid block header field values. Metadata is wrong. That will cause corruption. We have logical corruptions like inconsistent data dictionary corruption. Corrupt row piece index entry of different transactions will cause corruptions. Inconsistent control file older or newer than the data files and online reload files corruption. The database will not open. I/O failures, the read writes, limits the number of open files that are exceeded. Inaccessible channels, network errors, or I/O errors. These will cause failures. Data recovery advisor, so the good part with this is you don't have to do anything because data recovery advisor will recognize any of these failures and give you repair options. All right?
Yes, sir.
So what is this data recovery advisor? It will go around and try to assess data failures. It will list the failures by severity. Data recovery advisor will advise you on repair options and you select which one and you actually do the repair for you if you allow it to do. All right? And so you have to do proactive trends. You have to do validate database so you can check and be collecting some of these errors that are occurring and storing it in your ADR. Once you store there, your data recovery advisor can go and check with Health Monitor, and guess what? The database can be a constantly checking itself and looking for failure, looking for errors. And all you need to do what is to what? Come and check and say, hey, are you failed? Give me advice to repair failure. The automatic diagnostic workflow in Oracle 11 performs workflow steps for you. With your data recovery advisor, you only need to initiate an advice and a repair. Health Monitor automatically executes checks and logs failures and their symptoms as findings into your automatic diagnostic repository. Your data recovery advisor consolidates findings into failures. It lists the results of previously executed assessments with failure severity, critical or high. When you ask for repair advice on a failure, your data recovery advisor will map these failures to automatic and manual repair options like we saw. It will check the basic feasibility and will present you with a repair advice. You can execute the repair manually if that is the best way for you, or you can request the data recovery advisor to do it for you. In addition to your automatic primarily reactive checks of Health Monitor and data recovery advisor, Oracle recommends that you use like the validate command as a proactive check. Validate database as a proactive check. You proactively check the database. All right. So if you open your database instance health checkers and you see any of those active sessions active, when they find a failure, all you need to find is what? Data recovery advisor. So there are many places that it can show up. All right. In this case, that's where it showed up, and somebody had an error. And it says, okay, go to data recovery advisor, or just see something in there. So the example here is one of many different ways of interaction of the Health Monitor and your data recovery advisor. So in this case, we launch the data recovery advisor from there. You have seen this page before, right? When we open that page, God where it says you are in the mounted state. Note that we log in as what? Log in as this because this was a critical part. And when it says advise and recover, selected the database here. But before we put in as this, we will put in our OS username and password. We're dealing with the data file. Look at here, if you're dealing with the whole database. So we selected here one of the data file, we said advise and recover. What did it do? So data failures are detected by checks, which are diagnostic procedures that assess the health of your database or its components. Each check diagnoses one or more failures, which are then mapped into a repair. Checks can be reactive or proactive. It says sometimes things don't have to break before you go and check. You can be proactive check. So when an error occurs in your database, reactive checkers are automatically executed. You can also initiate proactive checks, for example, by executing the validate database command. We executed that, right, in the last class? Did we execute the validate database command?
Yes, sir.
Yes, no, maybe?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So in Enterprise Manager, you just go to availability and you did perform recovery. That's what we did. Or click on that. Show you that your database was down or was mounted state. We did a click advise and recover to have Enterprise Manager analyze and produce recovery advice. So advise and recover. Yep. And when it came in here, that's where it took us, right?
Yes,
Took us
sir.
here, what do we select here? Give us the advice, tell us what we have to do. It goes like enterprise manager doing advice field. The view and manage files page is the home page for data recovery advisor. The example in the screen shows how your data recovery advisor will list data failures and the details of those failures. The activities that you can initiate include, you can set the priority. Do you want it to be critical? Do you want it to be low or high or whatever you want it? So you can set priority and closing failure. So if you fixed it, you can close it so it doesn't show up anymore. The underlying RMAN is called a list failure command, will also display data failures, details. Failure assessments are not initiated here. They are executed and stored in the ADR. Failures are listed in decreasing priority, critical, in priority order, critical, high, or low. Failures with the same priority are listed in timestamp, who came first, and the same priority. All right. Advice on repair, you see that? This is what advice on repair gave you. You have the option to reassess the failure. If you want to check again to see that is this the real failure, or continue with advice. What did we do? Continue with advice. Then what did it do? It took us to this page where it gave us that popular script, right? And it said our script will do what? Restore the critical data file, recover the critical data file. It's not, there's no need taking it offline because it's already offline. Remember, our database is not open at this stage. All right?
Yes,
So,
sir.
yeah, so it wasn't open, and when you finish that, it said, okay, if we continue, it took you to where you have to go and execute it.
Yes, okay.
And you executed it, and it showed you how it did execute it. So, on the view and manage failures page, your data recovery advisor generates a manual checklist. After you click the advise button, two types of failures can appear. Failure that requires human intervention. Example is a connectivity failure. When a disk cable is not plugged in, you have to do and plug in yourself. So that's disk failure. Failures that repair faster that will be repaired faster if you go and undo a previous erroneous thing. For example, if you will rename that file, right? If you do not know, data recovery advisor says, if you rename it back, it's quicker than for us to go and restore and recover and blah, 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 blah. Nice. Easier so. So if you rename the data file in error, it is harder to rename it back to its previous name than to initiate RMAN restoration from backup. You can initiate the following actions. You can click the reassess failures after you perform a manual repair. Resolved failures are implicitly closed. Any remaining failures are displayed on the view and manage failures page. You can click on continue with advice to initiate an automated repair. Your data recovery advisor generates an automated repair option. It generates a script that shows how RMAN plans to repair the failure. You can continue if you want to execute the automated repair. Not once the data recovery advisor to automatically repair the failure, you can just take the script and go run it by yourself on SQL, and it will run it for you, and it will fix your failure. Are we good?
Yes, sir.
Then it took us to the last page, which asks us to, after executing, it says recovery succeeded, and you can see the results below. And it also asks us if you could open the database. Then you open your database, and it told you that, okay, I open that database, open and finish in a few seconds, and you're good to go. All right. I've told you before that we have these things called dynamic data dictionary views. So the data recovery advisor also has its own dynamic views, which means enterprise manager uses it a lot. Data recovery advisor uses it a lot. So it is not querying the data dictionary tables directly. We are querying the views. For example, $IR failure, that's $, instance recovery failure, shows us a listing of all the failures, including closed failures. This is a result of list failure command. $IR manual checklist, listing of manual advice, result of advice failure. $IR repair, listing of repairs, results of advice failure command. $IR failure set, cross-reference of failure and advice identifier. So, different data dictionary views that we query. So even every aspect of that deals with meta information, we can go and query it ourselves. For example, it says, suppose that you need to display all failures that were detected on June 1, 2007. You do select start from VDOLA IR failure, where time detected is what? June equals, boom, it lists it for you. So there are views that we can go query, like this. Right. Okay, let me ask. I think you should know this one. Does anybody have any question before I ask this one? Or let me ask this one to see if you are warmed up. Or those who are asleep should just continue sleeping. At least you don't have to mute and not snore on our ears. An instance will not fail if the following event occurs. An instance will not fail if the following event occurs. Loss of a control file if there is a remaining multiplex control file. Will the instance fail?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
An instance will fail? Yes?
Sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. What about loss of the system table space? Will the instance fail?
Yes, sir.
Sir.
What about loss of one member of a review log group if there is a remaining multiplex review log member from the lost member? Will that instance fail?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No. All right. What about the loss of an active undo table space? Will the instance fail?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Because it is
Active.
Active.
Because
critical.
Critical.
Hey,
Critical.
because it is active. You people study this thing like you really hate Oracle. You don't like this thing?
we like it, sir. Yes, sir.
You like it and what? Then you are learning it with such, the enthusiasm is not there. That's what I'm saying.
We like the money from it.
You cannot like the money from it without liking it.
We
You
like
never
it.
know it if you go for money.
We like it, sir.
We love it.
But I'm just saying your reaction to it. Okay, ask questions. We have 15 minutes. Ask questions.
Professor, so you mentioned the data get. Is that like a second database, or can you explain that again?
Yes, it is a second database. It is something we do in projects. It's a second database that is in recovery mode. What does that mean? I make a copy of your database and keep it somewhere else, different from your location. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So that database, I put it in recovery mode because I want you to send every archive log. Remember, you can send archive log to multiple destinations, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I make one of your destinations be my standby database. So my archive log just keep coming there. Are you following?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So guess what? My standby database is one archive log away from your database. Are we good? So if your database crashes, my database is fine. I simply ship that last archive log, correct?
Yes, sir.
I apply that last archive log and I remove it from recovery mode to open mode. I direct all your users in there and they just start working as if, so, and that takes a very short time, 5 minutes. Then now I can go back and look at my primary database and start finding out what's wrong. But my users are satisfied. They were down for 2 minutes, they were down for 3 minutes, that's bearable. Does that concept make any sense to you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Does it? You're answering as if you're not convinced. You people are just like, yeah, well, you should.
We understand now.
Okay, good. I hear you.
Okay, so in that case, if you have a crash, right? So everyone is going to start using the data guard database, the other database.
You direct them to, because you give them the TLS names to where they're going to go, where they're going to go to, right? That other database, remember, it has a different host name, and the same database name, but just a different host name, right? So all you need to do is to just give them a different IP address. And remember, at that level, their IP address is not resolved on their local machines, correct? It's resolved in the application server machine, right? So I simply go there and change it. And guess what? They don't even notice it at all. We are the ones on the back end who will notice that, no, they are working off the data guard now.
So, and the data guard, is that for like everyday use, or is it just like for emergencies?
Emergencies. Because it's a failover, we cannot be doing it back and forth, right? We cannot be playing with it back and forth. Look, for example, let's say, all right, if we have want to work on the data guard, let's say we have a database here, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Are we following? And this database here is what? HR. All right, and it has our HR database has an IP address of 192.168.15.144. Are we good? Are we following?
Yes, sir.
So all our users are coming into, no, let me not do this. Let me go back to the way we've been doing things before. The one that you know, but put that one in confusion. All right, we have our server here, and our database is called Human Resources. Right? And this our server is called, its IP address 192.168, or we can call the server name can be Apollo. All right? 15144. All right. So this is our users here, all 1,000 of them. They are going through what? An application server. Are we following?
Yes, sir.
That's there. They go there, and then they come here. They go through our listener, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Go through our listener. And get their information and so on and so forth. Are we good? They are coming here. They are all here, coming here, numerous users coming here, and so on and so forth. All right. If I want to make a data guard, I'm going to create a data guard in a different location, on a different server. Right?
Yes.
We're all in the same network, correct? And I'll do HR. I can call this database HR2, right? That's the database name. Are you following?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
All right. So I'm having the archive logs here. This database 2 is in recovery mode. Which means it's just constantly recovering. And then I have my archive log files here, right?
Yes, sir.
One of my archive log destination is for this database here. All the archive logs are moved. I'm shipping the logs over here. And I am immediately applying them in here when they come here. So this my database is constantly growing. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
This my database is constantly growing. Database 2 is constantly growing following database 1. Remember, at some point when I was configuring, I took a copy and put the copy here. This one is 192.145. That's the last 3 digits of the IP address. Are we following?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
This database here is standby for the HR database. It's following this one. Every archive log that this one generates, I send it here. Every archive log that this one generates, I send it here. Does that make sense? I don't only send it here, I apply it to this database. So HR2 is continuously growing. Are we following?
Yes, sir.
So what is the problem? The problem is that HR crashes. Are we good?
Yes, sir.
In the local TMS names here, what was the IP address in here? The IP address here was what? 144, right?
Yes, sir.
So it was 144. So when it comes to sees 144, it knows the host to go to. Because this is the host, right? Meaning it's the database, right? The host.
Yes, sir.
What does the listener look for? This guy has a listener, right? The listener looks for what?
Protocol service.
Host,
Port protocol.
Port.
Service name.
protocol,
Service name.
service name. So all I need to do is to come in here and change these TMS names here. I'll change the host to what? 145, right?
Yes, sir.
I'll come in here, I change that host to what? 145. And I need to change what? The alias. Because remember, the alias can be anything as long as the service name. So I can even call this database HR. I don't even need to call it HR2. But let's say for this, we'll call it HR2. All I need to change here is this, and I'll say HR2 as the service name. So it's going to go to this host, and when it looks for HR2, guess what? The traffic now will go here. Right?
Yes, sir.
Because that's what has it. I'm no longer here. Then I can use this called the primary. Come on, folks. This is the primary, this is the standard.
Eman, mute yourself now.
We can look at the primary here, and the primary is here.
It's not me.
And the primary is you. The primary is there, and the standby is here. We said primary crash for some reason. All I need to do is get this last archive log that was generated here, correct? I put it here, then this HR2 is now up to date. And I open this HR2, I change TNS names in here, and it redirects everybody here. Remember, we're in the same network, right?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So, and it is your TNS name that directs you where to go to. So it just shifts you now to your standby database. And guess what? You're just there. You see all your data is there because the data is all on the archive log files, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Switch log file, switch log file, switch log file, move it over there. They go in there, that database is complete. Change TNS names, and before you realize it, in 2-3 minutes, these are things that you're going to practice how to switch over and how much time it takes. And after you do that, it's okay. Guess what? you are good to go. You are now working on a standby. That is the concept of what data guard is. So in this case, they don't just call it standby anymore, they call it data guard. The standing guard for the primary. When primary is wrong, we switch everything over to the data guard, and data guard starts working. You see it, almost every environment has it now. It's called what? High availability. High availability solutions. And what are these high availability solutions? Data guard, golden gates, and rack. Data guard is what I just explained. Golden gate is Houston, LA, New Jersey. Does that make sense? Synchronizing at the back end. That's replication. And rack is what? Multiple instances against the same database.
Professor, I have a question. So when your primary database is finally up and running,
Yes.
would the recovery, how would the recovery go?
Okay, primary database is up and running. What do? I resynchronize. I look for everything that is not in this. It depends on how long. If this one is, if it's something very small, I can just apply it. If not, guess what? I can actually take down my primary, correct? Because note that HR2 kept adding data in there, right?
Yes, sir.
Are we following?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
So at this point, when I break it up, I can now make my primary my standby. Guess what? It is going to synchronize, right?
Right.
Right?
Right.
Yes, sir.
Good. And when I have downtime, I can switch it back because my primary always have more resources than the standby. It is meant, that server is meant to be primary. And when I have downtime, I will switch it back to make everybody start taking their data, switch these guys back, right? So I can make this guy back, the primary, I can make it a standby. Are we following? Once you fix the primary, make it a standby so that he can get all his data back, all right? And then you get the time that you can actually shut this guy, make sure this guy is totally complete with data, switch everybody, your TNS names and everybody back into the primary. This guy becomes the secondary, and the reverse starts going back to them. You can do this. You can play back and forth. After it crash, after you fix the primary, it can serve as your standby until you have the time to switch it back.
So do they both have the same equal amount of resources?
Not necessarily. This is for emergency. Your primary server is where you put in all your money. But your standby will be there, may not have as much resources, but you want it to be there. It's like your spare tire. Is your donor tire as big as your main tire? You understand what I mean? It can take you along, but it does not have as much. But you will drive it around until it has its limitations. Maybe you don't want to run your biggest job at that time because you are in emergency mode. You are running off a standby. Anita.
Yes, sir.
Do you understand it?
Yes, I do.
It's just like you are not going to just go to New York with that small donut tire. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
You're not going to run a big job. You are going to just now manage on until you do what? You go back and fix your main tire. Your donut tire goes back to become the spare, right?
Right.
Yes, sir.
I know there are mechanics in the house. Maybe that's what they used to understand.
No, it's just because you said that you can make your standby database as your primary at some point.
At this point, it is your primary.
Okay.
Whenever data is going, it is called primary because that is where the users are. At that point, it is the primary. I'm saying you could make your primary standby until you get enough time where you can do that switch, which is mean downtime. Sometimes downtime is difficult to have. And I cannot just leave my database running only on my standby. I'm going to make the primary be the standby, so that when I'm synchronizing, it doesn't take me forever. Right? Else I'll leave this guy here. This guy goes 2 weeks ahead or 1 week ahead. Then there's too much data to be copied over. Now my downtime that I need is no longer 15 minutes, it's up to 2 hours. Who's going to give me 2 hours? But if I make this guy the standby, it is catching up as we are going. If I make the primary the standby, it is not following that standby, following the new primary. So that when I'm switching it over, it is a couple of files.
Okay, so in this case, will you have just one Oracle, how do you call it, enterprise manager?
No, we are using grid control at this point.
Grid control, okay.
I'm not using database control. I'm using database control because I just want each and every one of you to manage enterprise manager on your own. But you will never see it at work. It's all grid. Grid takes too much resources to run in runtime. That is kills the network.
So when we configure our data guard, are we going to be able to use grid control?
You're going to use grid control even before you configure data guard.
Okay.
Because you have data broker which runs off grid control. Okay, I'm not going to teach projects now. I know you want to hurry to go and work, but projects will come after a few months. I'm just explaining the concept, not that you want to go and work tomorrow.
I'm just asking questions.
But I'm saying that data guard
I'd love to work tomorrow.
Trust me. If you finish paying, you can work even yesterday. All right, I just want to explain the concept so that it doesn't sound weird. It's just a database that follows another one, and you can apply archive logs over there and it will work. There are different methods of doing it. Some you can work right from the redo log, some you can work from the archive logs and so on. So it's a different concept, but it's never magic. It's just about files moving around. Questions? Questions? The participation of this class sometimes is it's not nice. I wonder whether you people are really serious on this thing. Some people don't just speak. Why don't you speak? Why don't you people speak? You are afraid?
No, sir.
So, quick question.
Sure.
If the control file is lost or corrupt, you have to shut down the database and not immediately, just about.
If your control file is destroyed, do you have to shut down the database about?
If the control file is corrupt or is lost, if you want to do the backup, you have to shut down the database first.
If your control file goes down, your database goes down. You want to do a backup without control file? Huh?
That's what I understand. If the control file is corrupt, is lost, is corrupt or is lost, we need to restore the control file.
Yes.
That's I got just a little bit confusion. Restore and
You are not confusing anybody. You are confusing yourself. What is the question? Because I am having a problem understanding. If you lose a control file, the way to fix it, your database is not working. Even if it is one, it is not working. Shut down the database. If it is not shut down, you force it down. Because you can only fix the control file from when your database is down, right?
Yes, sir.
All control files are needed all the time. So if one is down, database is down. So you will shut it down, then you will fix the control file, then you will open it up. Who did not understand something in today's class? Because you people seem to not ask me a question about the class. You're asking me about data entry, you're asking me about control file. Today's class has come and gone. Nobody has. Is it that the classes were so easy or was so hard?
I got a question.
All right, then I'm leaving now, since you can talk.
Thank you, Prof.
All right. No questions, then we gotta go. But you people, if I'm teaching and you're not responding, it's not the way that I like to teach. I must tell you that. You must respond. As long as you can put your microphone on. Some people's mics are on all day, but they're not making noise. So if you know that you're having no background noise, put it off. But other than that, I want interaction. I've always told you that. You know, at this point, the interaction is supposed to be crazy. I'm tired of comparing your morning class, but it is crazy. For everybody has something to say. Because people are enthusiastic. You are tired. What does that mean? Now that you are home, I thought it would be better. Because we don't have traffic to worry about. But it's just a few people.
I got a question.
Sorry again?
I got a question.
Yeah.
I understand what you said with the backup database. You know, taking when the primary is done, you use the backup database in place of the primary until you get it back. So in a situation where you cannot bring back the primary database, is it possible to like make a copy of the backup database and then eventually make the primary? Like if you just can't bring back the primary, can you just make a copy of the backup database and then?
If that will be the easier route, yeah. But I don't see a reason why I will not bring back the database. The whole server fries up, all my files missing. Okay, then I'll just create a new one.
Okay.
Yeah, I just clone this thing. It's a topic that you know now should not be worried about it. It's there like that. It's coming.
Okay.
Questions.
Sir.
Sure.
Sir.
Yes.
I have a question concerning the standby database. In the case,
that was not today's topic. Oh, I just mentioned it. Go ahead.
In the case you have like 2 or 3 standard database.
Standard or standby?
Standby database, sorry.
Okay, why would you have 2 or 3?
Is it not possible to have more than one?
Why? So okay, so if A is standing by for B, so what are you saying? B should stand by for C, or what is a database must have a goal. I'm saying that if A fails, let us have the information in B. Right? So that if we remove it from A, we're going to switch to B. So what's your question? I think there's something you want to ask.
No, I thought you can have more than one standby database. So I wanted to ask if you can just create a role and just like you create a role for users. Can you just create a role for database and just grant the standard database role?
I'm very confused. A database, a role is the access to things. It's what we use to access, how to manage privileges, right?
A role for the database to be in standby mode.
A role for the database
to be in standby. Because I read it somewhere, but it was kind of confusing to me. It was saying something like you can have more than one standby database. And you can grant a role. So I was confused about it, like a role, you can grant a role for standby database.
So you're reading standby databases. No, you should concentrate on this single instance database now. That you are confused because I don't even, whatever you're saying, I do not understand it at all. That you can create a role for a standard database that does what? Standby databases, one of the things is, I can have more than one standby database, but I must explain to you why you are having it. You can have an active standby. That active standby is a database that runs reports. But you want us to start getting into the application now? That is the thing. It's just going to confuse the small that I'm trying to put in. We must understand what these things are. I can say, for example, my question is, why do you want it? If you say I want an active database, which I'm not going to put in a standby database mode, I'll put in read-only mode, but we can run reports of that to take that one. It is not so that you failed over 2. No, that one it is because you have to lessen the load on your production and move it out to running reports. Do you understand what I just said?
Yes, sir.
Please say no, because the answer is no. Right, Natu, do you understand what I said?
No.
Who asked the question?
Estelle.
Estelle, do you understand what I said?
Yes, sir.
Please say no, because that's the answer. Say no, I don't. Do you know what an active data guard is? Because that is what I just explained. And I'm saying we are not there. You do it in projects after DB2.
Okay.
I have one more question.
I have a question. No first.
Sorry, not to
You said no, that you didn't understand.
Who said no? I didn't say no.
Because it's complicated.
Prof is telling you to say no.
Oh, no, I understand it. Why would I say no?
He's telling you to say no that you didn't understand.
Okay.
Don't worry, I'll give her. No, look, remember I told you, I've written her name down. Estelle, I'll ask Anna, I'll give her. Your test, I give everybody a different test. Remember, right? Good, you're going to create a standby database or data guard, an active data guard. Right?
Yes, sir.
Good.
Professor, I have one more question.
No, Estelle wants to create standby active data guard.
I didn't say I want it. You say you want to give it to me. I was just asking a question about something I read somewhere.
But what I'm saying is that we are not there.
And I get it, Prof. I was just asking. It was just a question.
Good. I just gave an answer too. Anita, go ahead.
Okay, so I know this might be a silly question, but why do we consider, I know why we consider the undo table space a critical table space, but why is the system table space considered one?
Okay. How did you start the question? I know this may be.
It's silly.
No, I know undo. I know why undo is like critical because you need it for recovery and whatnot. But why is the system table space?
Oh, all right, I'm going to answer your question with a question. All right. What is the content of the system table space?
He has a data dictionary.
Did you hear that?
Okay. Yeah.
What is the most important data in the database? What is the most important data in the database?
The data
dictionary.
The data files?
No. Are you not here when we deleted data files and our database was open? Okay, let's go to Walmart. Anita, if the shoes aisle is broken, do we close Walmart?
No.
Good. No, if the grocery section in Walmart is broken, do we close Walmart?
No.
Okay. If the toy section in Walmart is broken, do we close Walmart?
No.
Okay. If the computer in Walmart, the computer office, right, is broken, do we close Walmart?
Yes.
Anita, talk.
Well, you can take down people's information and run it later.
Anita.
Technically, you don't have to close it.
You will close it, so you don't have to. With those barcodes, how do you get those things? Every piece of information is through a computer. everything that is meta information in Walmart, because every item that you pick has a barcode, and that barcode has a school number. You don't just sell anything, you sell a particular item. Don't just say, I sold a printer. That printer has an ID. Anita, if the
You write down the barcodes and run it later.
Anita, if the computer in Walmart goes down, will you close the door?
Yeah.
You can take cash.
You can take cash.
No, you are not understanding. We are selling data. No. You are looking at the things in terms of items. I am looking at the things in terms of data. You understand? Because that data has a price, it has a school number, it has a supplier, it has an expiration date. It has so many things in there, which I cannot update those things if the computer is down. So that is the system tablespace of Walmart, which has meta information about the product. The product, anyone can go down, will keep it. But when you have to, the meta information is always in the system tablespace. That's why you can shut down every little part of it, and the store will move on. But the heartbeat of that store is that computer system.
Okay.
Why are you reluctantly agreeing or not? She has not even agreed.
No, I'm writing it down.
What are you writing down? No, I'm just saying that the data dictionary is in the system table space.
Okay.
Without a system table space, no database can function. Without the system table space, database cannot function.
Okay.
That is why it is considered a critical. It is the most critical file in every Oracle database. In fact, you were told that you should not put application data in it. Right? You should not put application data in it. Create any table space, put your application data there. We don't want that one, so take it offline. Take this one offline. But the critical, the metadata itself, that's where your data dictionary is. All right, any questions? All right, good night.
Good night.
Take care, have fun, enjoy yourself, read, study. Make sure that this thing is better, stay off the viruses.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.